Save a little
Safer.
money.
Good morning, everybody. We are recording.
Morning,
Good
Senator.
morning. Good morning. All right, well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our the Eagle Urban Renewal Agency. It's a special meeting today, May 15th, 2025, and it's exactly 9 o'clock. So we will go ahead and call this meeting to order, and we will start with our roll call. Ashley, if you would do us the honors.
Absolutely. Agrusa? Here. Brakebill?
Here.
Butler?
Here.
Dietrich?
Here.
Hope is absent. McComber?
Oh, here.
Russell?
Here.
6 present.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Deja vu.
Hey, Mark. Can I have you mute?
Yes.
Mark, can I have you mute until you need to speak, please? We're getting some feedback. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. New visit. Well, first off, do I have a motion to approve or amend the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Mac, second by Francie. Any questions, comments? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 6-0, excuse me. I'm missing mine. Okay, next item on the agenda is our new business action item regarding the Eagle Fire Protection District request. And I guess I'll be turning this over to Mr. Lakey. It's your show today.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. So we're here to evaluate a request from the Fire District pursuant to House Bill 436, which was legislation that was passed this last session. And I'll just kind of go through it with you and kind of explain the legislation and then my thoughts and the formula that you look at in making the decision. I'm gonna read it very plainly, very literally, very strictly as far as the language goes. It starts with the statement of purpose, which isn't legislation itself. It's just an explanation. But this legislation does 3 things. It adds a process for dissolution of an urban renewal agency by a city. So not really what we're talking about today. That's a city function. And then it allows for extension of the life of a URD for a major manufacturing project. No big secret, that was Chobani's interest in this legislation. And then it provides for exclusion of a fire district or a paramedic EMS district from new URDs that are formed. So they're no longer included in that increment calculation that you receive. And then it provides a process for existing fire and EMS districts to request to be excluded under certain criteria. And that's a process that could be looked at technically every year. You can give them your answer for this year. If they ask again, you look at the formula again and you make another decision. So it starts out, the statement of purpose reads that it allows a fire district or ambulance district within a URD to opt out of an existing urban renewal and revenue allocation area, provided there is no existing indebtedness or other financial obligation. So that's a little bit broad in its statement, but it's not exactly the way the legislation reads internally, but it kind of, for me, indicates the scope of, you're looking at all of your contractual obligations, all your indebtedness when you make that decision. So we have received a request from the fire district to withdraw. So this essentially impacts the plans and things that you've adopted as far as what you are looking at for your future projects. And like you said, I'm going to take a strict reading of the new code. So I'll go over the highlights. It starts with the fire district. They make a request to the county clerk. They get a number for their increment as of December 31 of last year that goes to the district. And then they have to meet and adopt a resolution, which we've received a copy of, requesting that they be withdrawn from the district. So the language starts, it's in your packets on page 14 of the legislation. And so I talked about the clerk asked, they adopt a resolution, and then we are required to meet with it in 10 business days, a special meeting, and that's what we're doing today. And then it states the formula to consider the request. So if you look at 5A on page 14, it says a fire protection district may withdraw from being subject to an urban renewal revenue allocation financing provision in a plan. So withdraw from the district if the urban renewal plan and the district does not have any outstanding bonds, contractual obligations, or other indebtedness being funded by the increment, the revenue allocation financing provisions, greater than the amount of the revenue allocation proceeds that was attributable to the fire district or ambulance district as of December 31, the prior tax year. So those are the two things you look at. You look at the entire amount of debt that you have outstanding, the entire amount of your contractual obligations, and any other indebtedness, and you take that number and you compare it with the number that was provided by the clerk. And for them to be able to withdraw, if the number or the amount of our total outstanding indebtedness and contractual obligations is greater than that number that they provide, then you would decline the request to withdraw. So, looking at it, if you look at the Eagle Urban Renewal District, we have 0 bonds. So there's nothing there. Contractual obligations, we have $5.4 million in contractual obligations. So that includes the development agreements that we have with projects to reimburse people for public improvements that they put in. It includes our reimbursement agreements, similar to those. The owner participation agreements, those are projects that are specifically reimbursed from the increment that they generate. And then any contractual obligations also includes your contracts for operations. So your accountant, your executive director, your legal counsel, your if you own facilities, your power bills, your website, those kind of things. So what we have is the $5.4 million in outstanding debt and really contractual obligations in our case. We don't have any other indebtedness. And then you look at the number from the fire district that we received from the clerk, which was $438,000 in their increment. So if you compare those two, as I compare those two, $5.4 million is greater than $438,000. Therefore, the request would be denied. If you deny a request, you have to do it in a written decision and attach your information and explain the basis for your decision. If you approve a request, then it's a resolution, and that resolution is provided to the fire district and the county, and I think the tax commission. To make sure that that's implemented. So that's my look at it, the plain language of the statute. Happy to answer questions if you have them.
Thank you, Mr. Lakey. Board members, questions of staff?
Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, Mr. Lakey, assuming we deny this, which is what I'm in favor of, How long do we have to get the written decision done?
There's a date in there someplace. So there is, if it's accepted, there's a deadline in subsection D. To transmit a copy of the resolution to the county clerk, the county recorder, and the tax commission no later than the fourth Monday of July. So they can do that. They can include that in their numbers. If it's a denial, there isn't a particular deadline. It says you meet within 10 days to make the decision. I think you do need to do that written decision if it's a denial. And I think that's something, if that's the direction of the board, that we could prepare for the next regular meeting and have you look at that. Did I answer your
Thank
question,
you.
Commissioner? Yep.
Other questions?
Yes, thank you.
Question, Mr. Chair. What's the impact on the fire district if they don't, this $400,000 that they got to raise their tax base?
So, Mr. Chairman and Mac, the $438,000 is the portion of the increment generated by the fire district that we already received and that they do not receive. So it's not a shortfall. This is a request to get some money back that they're not getting now. If you were to approve it, then those funds that would go here that they're not receiving now would go back to them. So it doesn't impact their current budget. Their budget would stay the same, or their current revenue. That would stay the same if you deny it. If you approve it, then they get an additional $438,000.
Thank you.
So, Todd, the $438,000, if we were to approve this, then are those funds allowed to be used for only capital improvements, capital projects and equipment, or can they use those funds for anything? I'm just curious.
Mr. Chairman, it doesn't really specify what those funds are. They just would go back to the district. So I don't think there's any limitation.
And is this something moving forward that they would have to come to us each and every year to ask us for it?
Correct. Mr. Chairman, so the calculation can vary every year, right? As you pay off some of those things, those obligations, that if they no longer exist, then your math is different. And the increment that the fire district may generate also can vary per year, depending on levies and things like that.
Is the motivation for the fire district that they'll not have to increase their, get more money, somehow increase their, what am I trying to say? What's the motivation of the fire district?
Mr. Chairman and Max, so we have Commissioner Tanner here. He's a fire district commissioner. He could explain that. It seems fairly simple in that it would be additional revenue that the fire district would receive. And certainly everybody's interested in having additional revenue to spend on things that you want to spend them on that you feel are necessary or important. But I'd like Commissioner Tanner expound if he would like to. That's up to you, Mr. Chairman.
Sure. Tanner, maybe you could approach up here. That way it's on the record. Get the microphone over there. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
If not,
Okay.
Okay.
Commissioner Tanner, the Eagle Fire Protection District. So as everybody understands, same as what you guys understand, is the city has been growing at a massive rate. Fire district, as well as actually quite a bit larger than the city. We actually encompass into Boise County as well as Jim County within that. But we don't get to have any say within growth. Growth happens usually based on city councils, based on county commissioners making decisions for those growth. We are just trying to maintain and keep up with that growth. So as we stand right now, we try to maintain within a certain call volume that we currently have. And try to maintain that. Now, every time we have a fire engine that actually has to go out on call, and we go out on every call. So when doesn't matter if it's a medical emergency, car accident, or fire, most of the time we see a lot of medical. We are actually the first responders. We were the ones that are first on scene. Usually the ambulance follows us after. So within that, though, once our engine's actually out, it's considered out of service. Now we run into the point where we run into too many calls, we are out of service altogether. Then we have collective agreements within multiple other districts and cities around us that will kind of backfill. Again, that comes to a timing issue. Most time when somebody calls 911, they're within, usually it's a 5-minute window is what you're trying to go for, because we found within that, a lot of times we're talking about the life or death aspect. So as a fire district, one of the things that I've actually really worked on was planning for that growth to actually happen. Our last fire chief didn't do a very good job of planning that aspect. Our current chief we put a lot more of an emphasis on that aspect in general. But currently we have a project that is going to be going on, a new fire station that will be going in up off Eagle Road. Again, we don't approve all the subdivisions that have gone off of Eagle Road, but those are actually going in. And the fingers, how they go out significantly within those subdivisions. So it becomes a timing aspect. When we have our fire station that's just down here, down the road, when we're talking about some of these developments that are going out, whether it's Banbury, whether it's Williamson Ranch, whether it's Mace, getting back to those from this station has become a massive issue. So we've got that aspect. The other one we have is we're actually relocating a station from Station 2, which is on our boundary line. Again, it was a previous aspect. Our commissioners in the past should have fought for the land, but the city of Boise kind of went ahead and pushed out Eagle in a sense of the development growth this way. So they went ahead and they provided the sewer at that point in time and allowed the water and allowed for them to actually develop out there. They took over that land, so what ended up happening was our fire district ended up being on the boundary line of our district. Again, with that collective agreement, we end up doing a lot of calls into that because Boise didn't have any service within that. We end up being the ones going out and doing service outside of our own district. And then with all the growth that is actually happening to the north of us, whether it be Avamore or Dry Creek, we are seeing a mass amount of growth out there and a mass amount of calls. Now, again, it doesn't meet our requirements of the 5 minutes that we're trying to get. But within that, we're actually moving that station to the Beacon Light area. That's where we're struggling. I mean, we've been able to collect the impact fees. We've worked with the city as well as the county on setting some of those impact fees to allow growth to try to pay for itself. Well, it realistically doesn't. So we're looking at more creative ways to actually build those stations and be able to provide that. Now, these aren't really ongoing aspects that we're really looking at. We're just trying to figure out how do we actually cover the cost of these. Now, there are development aspects within agreements that the fire district can actually make to help out with maybe a developer actually pays for the fire station. We see that sometimes agreements within the cities that they make within schools or different aspects like that. But as we stand right now, we don't have any of those agreements, and we're trying to actually keep up with the demand and the growth, and that's where our shortfall actually comes in, and that's what we're trying to figure out, how to actually maintain that. So when this piece of legislation was coming up, I was quite involved with it. There's a massive debate on urban renewal districts in general, but within this one, we were, like Senator Lakey or Attorney Lakey actually had stated, that piece of legislation actually did 3 different things. Now, the original intent of the legislation, what they were trying to get to, was the Chobani's facility, for the manufacturing facility. I mean, it was specifically almost written for them, even though it just says manufacturing. It gives them the ability to pay into a certain urban renewal district and actually use that money and be able to go bond out at a cheaper rate. And that's really what they're looking to do. So as they expand, they wanted to be able to be able to use their dollars into something and actually be able to bond against it, or otherwise they would have to actually lend against it to do what they wanted to actually do. But there's a massive difference within the legislature on urban renewal in general. Some people think it works good, some people think it works bad. But within the fire district aspect, it's been revenue that's actually been, in a sense, somewhat taken from us when urban renewals were somewhat created. They've been around for a very long time, but within that, that's a portion of what it is. Now, the other aspect, when you look at a fire district, you're looking at the sales tax revenue. Now, cities, counties, even districts get a portion of sales tax revenue distribution. Like the city of Boise, they get $26 million in sales tax distribution. Now, when you went into the special districts, once that bill was actually passed, they actually ended up taking a portion of that, and it was supposed to be for a short period of time. But then now we're down the road, and we still never got that portion. So where in cities we're getting this, counties we're getting this portion, special districts we're not actually getting this. So in a sense, we were kind of put into a bad spot. Now we do have the ability to bond and do a levy override. You're seeing that what's happening over in Star and Middleton right now, where they're actually trying to get that done. Now Middleton has gone through multiple different ones where they've actually failed. They end up partnering with Star. Star's actually, their last one actually had failed. They're trying again. But people do not want bonds. People do not want levy overrides. And I personally don't. I mean, I'm a taxpayer as well. I don't want to actually pay those things. So we're trying to figure out ways where we don't have to go back to the public and say, sorry, we can't control growth, but this is where we're at. Give us more money. Cover us for this debt to build. Cover us for this debt of growth. I don't think it's fair to the taxpayers, and so this is just a way for us to recapture a portion of the money that we were not getting that was going to the urban renewal districts to try to hopefully make us a little bit more whole, so going forward we can actually maintain the district as it stands. We do have the ability. I mean, based on 392 that actually happened on. I guess I don't have to go into every last thing, but within that was actually a passed bill that was done that Speaker Moyle had done. It set limitations to the growth of cities, counties, and districts in the sense of their budget. So new construction growth, set that at 5%. Your overall budget can grow at 3%. So the max we can actually grow at 8%. Sometimes we actually do not able to take all the amount of growth that's actually going on because of that. So our budget actually gets shrunk even though the growth is actually happening more than that. Now, you can argue if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But again, you're just trying to keep up with what the development growth is actually happening, making sure the citizens that we serve are actually protected in that time frame, because that's where we're running to somewhat of an issue at this point in time, just based on the amount of people that have actually come to this area.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
If you could stand by there just 1 second.
Sure.
Is there any questions of Mr. Tanner while he's on the microphone? You want the commission? Ashley, did you have a comment? I thought you. No. Okay.
Thank you.
I had a couple of just.
Mr.
quick-
Chairman,
Yeah,
Vice Chairman.
Mark, go ahead.
So nice to see you, Mr. Tanner, even though I can't see you.
You as well.
So some people know my general philosophy about urban renewal agencies, and I don't like them. I am the chairman of the agency and I'm involved. I don't like them because they were initially created to deal with blight, disastrous downtowns, and over time it changed. So I'm a watchful eye of the funds that are spent. And I wanted to point out that our agency has spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to extend water lines and install fire hydrants. So just so you know, we've really done our part to help the fire department. The most important issue that comes to mind, though, regardless of how I feel about the agency, is that we're only in existence for 6 more years, and then you get all the money. And we have made commitments of over $5 million to people, and nothing bothers me more than, especially a government, having made a commitment and then reneging. You talk about fairness, that is completely unfair. The monies that these people have expected are the monies that have been generated through this tax increment financing, which has been legal. And I believe we have the legal right to deny the request from the fire department. And I will feel bad about it because I like you and I love our fire department, but I'm 100% in favor of denying this based upon past commitments. Anyway, those are my thoughts.
Thank you, Mark. Anyone else?
Mr. Vice Commissioner, one of my thoughts, excuse me, is basically, if we approve this, which I'm not really in favor of that either, we're taking money from the agency budget that's earmarked to help improve blighted areas within the agency's boundaries, moving that money to new developments. This money was there to improve, particular for me, the east end of Eagle. And if we lose that money, we're not doing that neighborhood any favors at all. And we're already making financial commitments to improve that part of town. So what do they get? The homeowners and the business owners that are moving into that part of the town, they're shorted now too, in my opinion.
Thanks, Tom.
In favor for
Yeah.
new home development, which I don't agree with.
I think we've done a great job on dealing with some of our blighted areas, and we still have quite a ways to go. You alluded to the east side, and I brought this up before, the trailer parks and so forth, as you enter our community, how important those are, and the 6 years that we have left, right? That's all we have left to deal with those, and that's not a lot of time on projects like that.
And Mr. Chairman, if I could add, so the 438 was based on a calendar year, so that splits 2 fiscal years. So to give you the accurate number of what the Eagle Fire District increment makes up of our fiscal year 25 budget, that is closer to $470,000, just to be able to give you that perspective. And based on their current levy, they're just around 30% of our budget as well too, which is very significant moving forward as well. So, our budget this year is 1.7 and change. To take out almost next year, let's assume it's going to be around $500,000. And, we haven't been increasing that much, just ever so slightly these past few years because of House Bill 389. That really put a cap on a lot of different things for us. So that's one of the things just to keep in mind as you're thinking about how are we going to meet these commitments that we have. And as you all, I think some of you all know, we have 2 requests that will be in front of us in the Parkinson area at our next board meeting next week that are significant.
Agreed.
Okay, hearing that no other questions or comments, so we need a motion, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
To
Yes,
approve
sir.
or deny? Okay, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Well, let's
He's
hear the
gotta make
motion
the
first. Okay, go ahead, Mark.
I move that we, and I hate to use this term, but it's due in this perspective, we respectfully, and I do mean that from the heart, we respectfully deny the request for the funds, and we instruct our attorney to draft the findings that are necessary.
You have a motion by Mark,
I would second that.
second by Mr. Diedrich. Any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye.
All right,
Opposed?
is that roll call or not?
Is that roll? No.
Flush shed.
It does involve expenditure, sort of funds, so I do a roll call.
Okay, we can do it.
Roll call. Agrusa?
Am I saying aye or nay?
Aye to the
Aye to the
The
motion.
motion.
Brick, did you say it? I'm sorry.
I said aye.
Brickville?
Aye.
Butler?
Aye.
Dietrich?
Aye.
McComber?
All right,
Russell?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, do I have a motion for adjournment?
Motion to adjourn. Second.
Commissioner Russell, second Rusa. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark.
good job.
Thank you.
Good job explaining.
Thank you.
it.
You're welcome.
Good job explaining it, Todd.
Sure. Yeah, I'm agnostic here. Just lay out what it says and you decide. So.
I read through this